Hello, welcome back to another episode of Ace in the Hole. My name is Rocka504, and I apologize we've been missing for this month of July. We've had a lot going on, a lot to talk about in the Aces, a lot to get caught up on. We went on Ace in the Hole, went under some new management changes, so you can definitely find us on W-insidr, coming to you every Friday. We will be giving you the scoop on what's going on in the city with everything Aces, all around, full-fledged locker room access, the number one scoop. And if you want to catch any of our archive episodes, you can catch us on Ace in the Hole on SoundCloud. We have the first 3 episodes, kind of get you caught up if you're new. But there's a lot of excitement going around the Aces in these last month. Number one team in the WNBA. A'ja Wilson, Liz Cambage just made the cover of Slam magazine. There's a buzz right now in the city. And that championship prediction, all the hype that we saw in the offseason, we're starting to see why, as this team has coming together and sitting at 11-5 in the top of the standings. Can't be much happier than how this team's performed. They seem to be playing together. Coach Lambert's got them all as a unit, finding each other, knowing where the other. There's just great energy with the team right now. And as a city and as a community, the fans need to continue to get behind them because the Aces are just killing it, doing everything right, and representing Las Vegas proudly and honorably. Coming up, we got the WNBA All-Star Game too. Aces have 3 representatives and a coach, and they're the hosts. So big couple weeks coming ahead for the city and for the WNBA as a whole. We'll be there, Ace in the Hole, giving you live coverage, live updates of All-Star Weekend. A'ja Wilson, captain, draft on Tuesday. Liz Cambage, going to be a starter. Kayla McBride, starter. So 3 representatives, well deserved. We'll get into that in a little bit, talk about their season. A lot to talk about them, and a lot of excitement as are becoming that team that we thought that we envisioned them to be. The Aces, on a long road trip, sweep that road trip, including a big win against the Washington Mystics, who they also have to play again because a game inside of the Mandalay Bay Event Center was stopped prematurely because of an earthquake. You don't hear that one too often. That's a new one. It is. They'll get that game figured out sometime probably towards the end of the year. It's going to have a big deal on determining where the standings finish. It's still such a tough race, so you don't want to get too ahead of yourself, but the Aces look really good, and as A'ja and Liz get more chemistry together, they just seem to get more dangerous by the game. That high-low pick and roll that they have is, one of them gets the ball at the high post, and because they're such gifted passers, they're able to find the other one under the basket for an easy layup. It's so much skill, and watching them, it's just been a treat and a joy. You could read the latest issue of Slam magazine, also that has A'ja and Liz on the cover. Monumental. So congrats to them. They earned it. It's nice to see that their star being recognized because, congrats to them. They earned it. And it's nice to see that their star being recognized because, they are a star type magnetism. And there's a star type of magnetism around this team. It just feels like Vegas is doing things differently, breaking away from the norm, and it's starting to resonate around the WNBA and beyond just WNBA community. It's starting to reach the national media, and there's a lot of eyes on the team right now, so that's a good thing. I have people constantly hitting me up to go get tickets to the games. Can you get me in? What's up with the Aces? Asking questions. One, go look for yourself and go buy tickets. Tickets are not expensive, but I will be happy to hook up anybody with tickets. I only get 2 though, so don't kill me. So hit me up. 2 tickets to the Aces game. Go check them out. And then let's get started into this week. We'll start off with talking about our 3 All-Stars. Team captain, second number vote getter, A'ja Wilson, averaging 16 points a game, 7 rebounds, shooting 49% from the field, and just the unquestioned leader of this team. Every single game, game in and game out, Asia Wilson is bringing it on both ends of the floor and making her presence felt. She's just an incredible player who you would never believe is only in her second. It's quite mind-boggling. And then, yeah, of course, Liz had a little bit of a slow start to the season as she was coming back from injury, trying to get acclimated to the new team, learning the chemistry, came off the bench the first couple games. Now she seems to be right in the full thick of things, averaging 15 points a game, 4 blocks for Asia. So they're patrolling the paint. Next up, got our third All-Star, kind of the unsung hero, the forgotten member of the Big Three is what I like to say. Liz and Asia gain the headlines, rightfully so. They deserve it. They're incredible. But beyond that, there's a great number of guards on this team, a great perimeter players, and at the top of that is Kayla McBride, averaging 15 points a game, 48% from the field, and 46% from the three. She is just on fire, knocking things down. Just evidence, those open looks that are being created by the post players is opening things up for the guards and getting them open looks. Kayla McBride has just stepped it up on both ends of the floor. Like, we knew she was getting buckets. She was getting buckets last season. She's been getting buckets. That's no problem. But the way she's been able to do it on both ends of the floor this year, the energy she's playing with, played hard every night, kind of been that veteran presence for this team. You could tell she's just in the mode where right now she just wants to win. And I've spoken to Kayla about this. And Kayla's always talking to me and saying that it's all about doing whatever it can be for the team, whatever the team needs to do to win. Game in and game out. They don't really care who's getting the headlines because it's going to be a different person for this team every night. Let's get that out of the way. Liz and Asia, what they're bringing on a consistent basis. They're incredible. They're top tier players. They're bringing it night in and night out. But then you got girls when you go down the list of the roster like the Erica Hamby, Jackie Young, Kelsey Plum, Sydney Colson. Just a few names there that are still fueling this Aces surge. And while, of course, they're not going to get the big headlines, this is a team that has players that are willing to make sacrifices, willing to dive on for loose balls, willing to play their roles if it means getting a championship and getting the team to the playoffs and doing whatever it takes to win. And a lot of times you hear teams talk about sacrifice, you hear players talk about sacrifice, but oftentimes you don't see it. With the Aces, there's no question. These girls just want to win. To have a team, and I think it starts too with the superstars, starts with the leaders of the team like Asia and Liz. Their selfless attitude trickles down to the 12th woman on the roster from the top to bottom. That energy just manifests itself and it keeps going from the coaching staff to the front office to the fans. And it's just been a fun season. Fun time to be an Aces fan. Fun time to be a fan of the WNBA because this season has been really close. Nip and tuck. Like, nothing is set in stone yet. I mean, good God. The Connecticut Sun are going crazy. Seattle Storm, despite all their injuries, are 11-8. Still fourth in the conference. You got the Sparks, who dealt with some injuries on their own. Minnesota, Chicago, those teams are always going to be hard. Courtney Vandersloot, Allie Quigley are going to be able to beat any team any night. The Mystics with Atlanta Deladon, they lost a game. They blew out the Aces. They were beating the Aces up by 15 at half, so I don't want to even... I still think the Mystics, to me, are the best team in the league, and I'm an Aces fan, but, we got a long way to go till the season goes, but it's been a fun start. Fun start. My question is, you see Liz and you see Asia. These are two women who, I think, you see the sacrifices they put in within their own numbers, because these are two women who averaged 20 plus last season. Now they're down to 16, 15, but yet they're winning. And they could easily double candidates every night, so they can do stuff like that, but their own individual numbers are sacrificing because, one, they have to play together, but they realize this is what's necessary to win. And it's been exciting to see. It's been exciting to see two superstars so selfless really come down and embrace the city. You see Liz every night on her stories, just going out in the city, been able to do her mini venture. She's a DJ. She looks like she's having fun. Asia's having fun. There's just a fun feel about this Aces team right now. And heading into the All-Star break, they got their game against the Lynx coming up. They want to go in there to they're back home. They were on a long road trip. They're going to have a lot of fans, hopefully the building's filled up. I'll be giving tickets out. Let's get out there and support. The Aces have been on a roll lately, and when you win, you get that support. You earn it, and they're earning it. So go out there, support them. I know we have the All-Star game coming up, so let's get a home win in there before we head into the break. And two big games we got coming up. Seattle Storm tomorrow. Yeah, Seattle Storm tomorrow. We closing out the road trip. Let's close it out with a win. Aces are on a 5-game win streak, on a roll right now. Last few games, they defeat the Mystics on the road, beat the Fever on the road, who always seem to give the Aces trouble despite their place in the standings. Just dominated the New York Liberty. Kind of amazing to see that the Liberty actually beat them earlier this year. Man, that was a shock. But, Aces have completely dominated the last two matchups, as they should, showing that they aren't taking that lightly. Beat the Sky in a very, 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 very good game. That was their final game at home right before July 4th weekend. Aces are on a roll right now. They're rolling. They're playing well. Seattle Storm still, despite their injuries, a competitive team. Like I said, 11-8 right now, sitting at 4th in the conference at home. That place is always a tough place to play. So that'll be a nice test for the Aces on the road. If they can close out this road streak, 5 wins, that's amazing. That's a mark of a good team. Good teams go on the road, win games, figure it out, and that just shows you how dangerous they are because of the talent they possess. They can go into another team's building and impose their will because of the size they have down low. They're not a team that's relying on jump shooting. They're going to be able to rebound. They're going to be able to be physical with you. They're going to be able to get to the free throw line. These are the marks that make teams. This is how you win on the road, because you win through the stars. Your stars show up on the road. Your stars show up in the playoffs in the big game. The going gets tough, and if your shot's not falling, that happens from time to time. That's not an indictment on the player. Everyone has games where their shot's just not there. But the way the Aces play, because they're so physically dominant, that stuff translates game in and game out. And when you can get to the free throw line game in and game out, you're always going to give your chance to win because you have teams in the bonus, teams in foul trouble. You're just so dangerous right now. 4-game whole road trip. I was scared about this portion of the schedule, to be honest with you, because the Aces have had some trouble on the road as years past and earlier in the season. So this was a really, really big test for them. And they stepped up and they showed that they are one of the premier teams that we should be watching for this WNBA season. It's one thing to have hype coming into a year, one thing to have excitement, but when you turn that excitement into production and results, and as Bill Laimbeer puts it, knowing how to win, and you witness it firsthand, we're witnessing it firsthand, like this team is learning how to win. They're winning close games. Going gets tough. I mean, good gosh, they've been in so many tough games this year and come out on top. The test it's only just beginning though. The Aces still have a long way to go. It's about maintaining that part now. And as you come back after the All-Star break, you got a couple games. We got a game at home against the Wings. Then you got to go on the road again 2 straight times. Go to LA. Go to Dallas. The journey's not over yet. They're just right on the path though. It's going to be about maintaining their play for the rest of the season. Maintaining this. As teams start to figure that out, as injuries start to happen, as fatigue sets in, we're going to find out what the Aces are built for. And with the talent on their team, it's hard to bet against them. It's hard. I think they'll figure it out. But when I see teams like the Connecticut Sun, who are just, they may not have the big names, may not have the flashiness like a city of Las Vegas, but they have a team and a unit that has created a culture that winning is important, have a system to where everybody is playing for each other. They're very, very, very good team. It's just hard for me to get a gauge on really who's the favorite right now in the WNBA, because there's so much talent and everything's so jumbled at the top, where if you just go on a quick losing streak, shoot, you can drop all the way down to 6 or 7. Plenty to be fixed yet, but you have to be encouraged by where the Aces are. You have to be. On top of that, we'll be here all season. Just want to give you guys that you guys know that we'll be in the locker room talking to the players, giving you coaches. You can check my Twitter feed for game highlights every game, even while we weren't doing the show due to our laptop being fixed and our transition in management. I was going to every game. Go into the locker rooms. You have post-game interviews with all the players you want. If you want who you want me to talk to, let me know. I will make sure that happens. I will give you guys the content that you want to hear, because that's what's important to me, is making sure that we are providing you guys with the most in-depth Aces coverage possible. And I want you guys to know what's really going on in the team. I want you to give you that real, no cap, no fake. Aces they should be the talk of the town. They should be the talk of the summer. And as we get deeper into the summer, the stands need to be getting filled up. The stands need to be getting filled up. There's no excuses. Why not? They're winning. This is Las Vegas. This is a show. This is exciting. Fill up the stands. Get out there. Get talking, people. Ask me for tickets. It's the one I want to get on too is Summer League. Pretty disappointed that there was no Aces games at home during Summer League, because I have a lot of NBA guys. I do cover the Pelicans for Bird Rights and for another number of outlets, which I love. But it's WNBA time. It's our time to showcase. Summer League is great. It's at bringing a bunch of people from the basketball community into one place, and I look at it as this is a perfect time to showcase the women's game and the beautiful game that we have. And yet the Aces are on a 4-game road trip, and instead of separating Summer League and WNBA, you should make those events coincide. Don't let one overshadow the other. Work in unison. So now I have people out there would ask me, hey, let's go to an Aces game. I can't take them because they're out of town for 2-3 weeks. Aces have been out of town for 2 weeks. The last home game was July 2nd. They've been on the road the entire Summer League. The one game they actually did play, July 5th, there was the earthquake that happened, so but still, July 5th to the 18th, missed the entire time, and that's a lot of, and I don't say it because, it's Summer League, and it's about getting people that love basketball and have never experienced it, and they're coming to Summer League. Now they have the opportunity to go and watch the WNBA game too, and watch the Aces play. And what I'm telling you, once you watch the Aces play once, you're hooked. There's no way you could watch Liz Camp Asia. If you love basketball and you watch the A, you will come out a fan if you watch one game of the Aces. That is how exciting and fun this team is. They're so fun to watch play. And because of the talent level they have, you're going to get an exciting game. You're going to get an up and down style. You're going to get to see superstars. I equate watching Liz and Asia play on par to watching LeBron James, Steph Curry. And that's not to compare them as players, but that's the type of players they are. These are superstars. You're watching the elite at what they do. And that's what's more fun than that? Watching the best in the world do what they do best, and that's play basketball. So no, it's just want to touch on that. Severely disappointed that the Summer League and the Aces home games were kept separate. Thought it would have been a great time to showcase the league and showcase the Aces. But besides that, a lot to be excited about. And the players themselves spoke on that a little bit. So, check out their feed, follow all the players, check out all the players, It's nice to see everybody on the Aces get comfortable with their roles. We usually do a lot of talk on all the team. We don't just focus on the stars here, but I just wanted, a lot's been happening in the national media for the Aces, so I just wanted to touch on all that for a little bit. We'll dive into what's going on in-house, though. My co-host, Sean24K, he'll be on here from time to time. Tonight, it's just me. We're flying solo, baby. You can check him out, and we talk about a lot of things on our last episode, so you can catch that on SoundCloud archive. Catch this episode, W-insidr, and it will be uploaded on SoundCloud within the week if you do not catch it. But we were talking a lot about the play of Kelsey Plum. Started off pretty disappointing. We came at her aggressiveness a little bit. Shot hasn't really been consistent. She's been very streaky, to say the least, as far as scoring the ball. Her shot attempts are really... She only takes 8 shots a game. She's shooting 34% from the field, 34% from the three. So she's taking a lot of threes, and that's what kind of her role has been in this offense, because Jackie Young has been initiated as the playmaker, which I got to credit Bill and Beer. I really think that's helped open her game up a little bit, giving her a lot more role with the ball, allowing her to create, allowing her to use her athleticism. And as she, adapts to finishing, she still has some trouble finishing, but the encouraging thing is she's able to get where she wants. She's a good ball handler. She has good vision. She has this really, really obvious athleticism in her game and this smoothness to her game that when she just gets a little bit more adjusted to the strength and the physicality of it, the contact, her trouble with finishing, she's going to be a very good player. And the best way to do that is just experience. The more she plays, she gets better every game. And I've talked to Jackie Young about it, and she says she just feels more comfortable each day with her teammates. Interview with Jackie Young is on my Twitter feed, which is LaRocca504, Instagram LaRocca504. But Jackie Young is a player I anticipate being a key contributor for the team down the stretch of the season. Like when the playoffs gets closer, and I feel like that's usually when either the players you've adjusted, you can, it's no longer okay, I'm playing in the WNBA, I'm trying to learn. It's like, all right, I've been playing now, I kind of got a feel for everything, I've played this team a couple of times, I'm just gonna play loose and carefree. And allowing her to play on the ball and be a playmaker and be someone that initiates offense has instilled a confidence in her that was not there to start the season, but every game she just looks more and more comfortable in that role and more and more comfortable within the offense. So someone that I think we should keep an eye out for. I think you're going to hear her name a little bit more as the season progresses. First #1 overall pick, Jackie Young. A lot of #1 overall picks on this team now. Jackie Young, Kelsey Plum, Asia. Pretty incredible when you think of it. But, we're seeing the results. This team is talented. Dearica Hamby doing her thing. 9.7 points a game. We'll call that 10. And only 20 minutes of action per game. Shooting 51% from the field. Just been revelation off the bench. Like, when you look at the team, you're like, okay, Kelsey, Kayla, Liz, Asia, Jackie. I know those girls can play. Like, I know what I'm getting out of them. They can give me a bucket. But then you look at that bench unit, and you're like, okay, Sydney, Tamara, Jackie, Sugar. And Tamara is someone who's struggling because she's not accustomed, she's still getting used to coming off the bench. And you're looking like, okay, where's the scoring going to come from? Where can Ruin get these buckets? And Dearica has stepped up and answered that question pretty emphatically this season. She scored her career high earlier in the year, all over the place, running the floor, making herself available off of roles. Super smart player that just knows where to be on the court and has such a soft touch, allowing her to finish inside. Dearica Hamby, my running for 6th Woman of the Year, right there. I'm endorsing it. She needs to get her due. And that whole bench unit's energy is just awesome. They love each other, and they come in and they play for one another, and they play hard. Dearica is a player I watched last year, and the steps she's taken to make herself a legit WNBA player, getting better every year, her career progression. Testament to hard work, so I'm proud of her. And now we'll step in, though, to these next few games we got coming up. Tomorrow, we got Aces versus Seattle Storm to close out the road trip. It's going to be a tough one. Like I said, going to Seattle is tough. Before we end the show, I'll give you my predictions on these next 2 games before we head to the All-Star break. The next show you will hear from us will be at All-Star Weekend here in the wonderful Las Vegas, Nevada. So yeah, fun. And if also anybody out here for All-Star Weekend in Vegas wants to link up, ask some questions, I will be in the building. I'll be giving you any players you want me to talk to. Let me know. But getting into it, Aces at the Storm. I'm gonna go with the Storm on this one. I think the Aces are just gonna. I think this is gonna close out the road trip on a loss. Unfortunately, hate to be the negative Nancy. Storm are just. I think they're still reeling from that last loss that ugly game that it was really low scoring, and they felt like they could have beaten us at home. Going into Seattle, where it's so tough to play, they got a chip on their shoulder. They're a good team, well-coached team. They're the champs. I think we lose that one. Come back home against Minnesota. Go into the All-Star break on a positive note. Sitting now, bring us to 12-6 going into the break. Sitting pretty when it comes to the playoff spots and where you need to be. And we're going to end it on a high note. And like I said, we'll transition now into All-Star Weekend. Plus, second half of the season, we'll do some predictions. Next show you hear, we'll be covering everything about All-Star Weekend in Vegas, specifically the performances of Asia, Kayla, and Liz. We got the draft on Tuesday. We'll find out who's playing who. Come on. Asia has to pick. That should be an awkward locker room if, who you picking? Asia got to pick Liz first, right? Then you got to pick Kayla second, right? Got to pick your girls. Got to pick your homies. So we'll see. We will see. But this has been Ace in the Hole. Check out our archive episodes on SoundCloud. We'll be uploading this on WNBA Insider and SoundCloud going forward every Friday. Thank you for rocking with us all season. This is LaRocca 504. Peace.